taste of really special and popular animals here.
And the party's just getting started. Our zoo residents may be going to bed, but not these party animals. Dancing, DJs, food trucks, and a full bar are all on the after-hours menu.
Animals are asleep. No animals.
Wait, what about the animals?
There's no animals. They're asleep. Even though it's a full moon, and we did go, ow!
I had some, margaritas.
So this is a party for the big kids?
Yes, it's a party for the big kids, and it's been incredible.
Cool.
I saw a snake and a turtle, and that's about it.
I love it. So I bring them around too.
And you're dancing?
Yes, we love it. Yes, we've been hitting every spot.
And if you're wondering why people on one of the dance floors are dancing in silence, well, it's the silent disco, of course. All the music you need is in those bright fluorescent headphones.
This is really a chance for LA guests to explore the intersection between music, culture, and nature. People have a perception maybe that the LA Zoo is just for kids, and it's really not. We throw a really good party here.
Somewhere, some animals must be wondering how they can sleep with all that racket.
There'll be one more Roaring Nights event this summer on September 27th. You must be 21 to get in. For information or tickets, visit lazoo.org. We all know that summer wouldn't be the same without your pick of outdoor movies. In Echo Park, as the season comes to a close, folks came out to enjoy one last flick under the stars.
Little darling, I see that ice is slowly melting.
We do the annual summer movie nights, and today we are combining with Echo Park Rising, which is another annual event. And we have a theme of music all day, and it's going to lead up to the screening of A Hard Day's Night, of course, with the Beatles. So we've been working with Kamran and the organization and the entire community so we would have a day-long celebration of music and culture here at Echo Park Lake. I have a deep love for all things Beatles. When I turned on my car this afternoon on my way to my first event, the song that came on from the very beginning was A Hard Day's Night, and I thought, this bodes well.
It's our 9th annual event. It's been a labor of love. We're all volunteers, and it's a free festival for the entire community. Tonight is really a culmination of a long process of doing something together at the lake, and it's our family stage, and A Hard Day's Night is a great way to sort of come together. It's the 50th anniversary of Abbey Road was, a week and a half ago? Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is a nice coincidence, and people can take their photo as if they're on Abbey Road.
It's the end of the summer, and it's just a good hang in the park. There's been some cool music. We just saw some tap dancers from the Tapitalists, and they were crushing it up there. And I don't know, it's a beautiful night.
What do you get when you mix confetti cannons with lots of kids and families? Well, a whole lot of summer fun at Chinatown Summer Nights.
Come here this summer. We love Chinatown Summer Nights. We've been coming for years, and the most fun is shooting off the confetti cannons. And my son, who's over there, loves to throw the confetti he's throwing it at my father, who's in town from Virginia.
What's so great about the confetti? Tell me.
We get something on it, Paris.
Everybody's having a great time. It'll take us a week to get all the confetti out of our clothes.
If you love Stevie Wonder, join the celebration of his music at the Levitt Pavilion. Check out some vintage cars at a San Fernando car show And in the mood for some jerk chicken? Well, don't miss this Jerk Fest. All this and things to do. Wonderful, the annual event dedicated to the musical genius of Stevie Wonder, is back. Enjoy a free daytime event for all ages, filled with dancing, food trucks, and live t-shirt screen printing. And of course, DJ Spinna spinning all Stevie exclusives, covers, samples, and remixes. Spend an afternoon among fellow Stevie lovers at Wonderful, happening Sunday, September 1st, beginning at 4 p.m. To RSVP, visit concerts.levittlosangeles.org. Moonlight Customs proudly presents the first annual Moonlight Yaks inaugural car show. Bring your family and friends, food and beverages, folding chairs, and be ready to barbecue alongside many of your fellow car culture enthusiasts. Cruise on over to Moonlight Yaks inaugural car show, happening Saturday, August 31st at Hanson Dan Recreation Center. For more information, check out their listing on Facebook events. Jerk Fest is a cultural awareness festival that pitches tents at UCLA. Come out and experience delicious dishes like jerk chicken, jerk shrimp, yam, and other authentic island dishes. Not only do you have an opportunity to taste exotic foods from the Caribbean, but enjoy music from internationally renowned acts. Jerkfest 2019 cooks up a great time on Saturday, August 31st, beginning at 12 noon. For ticket information, visit adamari.net. And that's a look at some things to do. That's it for this edition. I'm Yana Kay. From all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more of LA This Week.
Test, test. morning. Good morning. Please take a seat. I want to welcome you to City Hall, to this Los Angeles City Council. Madam Clerk, we do have a quorum. Would you please call the roll?
Blumenfeld, Bonin, Buscaino, Cedillo, Harris Dawson, Weezer, Koretz, Krikorian, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rodriguez, Rue, Smith, Wesson. 10 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. First order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
O'Farrell moves, Rodriguez seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Koretz moves and Price seconds. Next.
Item 27 is an item for which a public hearing has not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, so without objection, that item is now before this body.
And there are cards on this item.
Let's go through the remainder of the agenda.
For item 1, there is a request to continue that for 90 days, and 90 days would be November 27th.
Okay, without objection, continue.
Item 2 is an item notice for public hearing.
You have cards?
Yes, there are cards on that item.
Okay, then continue. Let's hold item 4.
Okay, we will hold item 4, and then the remaining items from 3 through 26. These are items for which a public hearing has been held, and committee reports for items 17 and 26 have been posted and circulated for council's consideration.
Okay, let's prepare to vote on these items. Please open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Continue.
And the ordinance for item 3 will be held over unless reconsidered with 12 members.
Okay, remind me if we get to that number.
And on the continuation agenda, items 28 and 29 are items for which public hearings have been held. A corrected committee report has been posted and circulated for council's consideration on item 28.
Okay, let us prepare to vote on those items. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Okay, that brings us where?
Mr. President, that then takes us back to items called special, general public comment, or presentations.
Okay, let's go to item 27. Sergeants, if you would remove, we have some public comment on this item. Okay, so let me get Mr. Sachs, item 27. Mr. Sachs, please come forward. Mr. Corey Schmidt, and after you, we'll have Mr. Herman. And this is on item 27.
Yes, thank you. Good morning. For the record, Arnold Sachs. And so this is your finalizing the election for the runoff seat. How many people voted in this election, by the way? What is there, about 300,000 people in each council district? 15 council districts, 2 million people, 2.5 million. So how many people actually voted in the district? Did you get 50,000 votes? Did you get 25,000 votes for a seat in the city council? What does it take to sit at the city council chambers? You need to get more people involved in the actual running of the city, and not just say, oh, well, what the hell? It doesn't matter because things don't change. Things only change if you get involved. If you don't get involved and you take everybody's word that's sitting around, then they don't change. They only get worse because you're not involved. Add your 2 cents. 2 cents and 2 cents, you know what that makes? 4.
Thank you, Mr. Sachs. Mr. Schmidt, followed by Mr. Herman. Item 27.
Okay, Corey Schmidt for the record. I don't really agree with what was just said, but I just wanted to say that I liked Greg as a candidate. So that's all that I have to say.
Okay, Mr. Herman. And this concludes public comment on this item. Go ahead.
You gonna start my time yet?
Go ahead, Mr. Herman. And remove the flag.
If
so that
we
can
could
see
say what the
Mr.
fuck
Herman,
about the
remove
vote.
the flag
Excuse me?
so we can see the timer. Go ahead.
Fucker. $2.4 million. If we could get people to vote, if I could say what the fuck, don't vote, fuck the draft, then I would be politically correct. Because this is America, motherfucker. The results on August 13 reflect the dumb fuck in Council District 12, who I approve and appoint to that seat to run this city in its capacity. Fuck you.
Okay, thank you. That concludes public comment on this item. Let's prepare to vote on item 27. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Okay, I'd like to, you read my mind, and Mr. Lee, if you would join the floor is yours, Madam Clerk.
Good morning, everybody. Holly Walcott, City Clerk for the City of Los Angeles. Before Council Member Lee can vote, he must be sworn in, and we're going to wait until his family is behind him to join him in this momentous occasion. If you will raise your prominent hand and repeat after me, please. I, John S. Lee,
I, John S. Lee,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of California,
the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Charter of the City of Los Angeles,
and the Charter of the City of Los Angeles,
and that I will duly, faithfully discharge the duties of council member of the 12th District, according to the best of my ability. You are duly sworn in, sir. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, Council Member John Lee. Mr. Lee, before you speak, we have some technical things we need to do. So when you speak, you will officially speak from your chair. So let us do that. And at this point, I'd like, in fact, one more round of applause for Councilmember John Lee. Okay, Mr. Buscaino, if you would, for your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. President. To Councilmember Lee, I brought in the United States Navy on your first day. You got your back. You might need them. Congratulations, brother. Proud of you. Colleagues, Mr. President and members, it gives me a great honor to welcome the United States Navy and Coast Guard to our LA Council chambers, celebrating yet another LA Fleet Week. Let's give them a warm welcome to the John Ferraro chambers. And this week reminds me of the service of Mayor Garcetti to the United States military. He was once a Ready Reserve, but now he is inactive Ready Reserve. I do want to recognize Mayor Garcetti for his service to the United States Navy and to our country. Before we begin, I do want to bring up the USO Show Troop Group. Please rise, and they will lead us.
Let me jump in here, Mr. Buscaino. Mr.
Yeah.
Spindler, that's your first and last warning. Back to you, Mr. Buscaino.
Thank you, Mr. President. So with that, I ask that we all rise for the national anthem, sung by the Bob Hope USO Show Troop.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Our Bob Hope, thank you so much. So, colleagues, Mr. President, standing with me is Admiral Hansen of the United States Third Fleet of the United States Navy. Also represented here, the United States Marines and the U.S. Coast Guard. Our city is privileged and honored to have you here today. Throughout the country, the United States Navy has over 300 active duty personnel and nearly 100,000 Ready Reserve. With 282 deployable battleships, the United States Navy is a force to be reckoned with, keeping us all safe every hour, every single day. Now, whether it's a domestic disaster or a global emergency, our sea service members are there to provide both humanitarian efforts, disaster relief, and protection to the most vulnerable across our world. And they also do some incredible drug busts as well along our coastline, as evidenced in the recent news here. It's also great work that we celebrate on the LA waterfront this week. The LA Fleet Week gives every Angelino the opportunity to thank our service members for the critical work that they do every single day. And as you well know, San Pedro and Wilmington has a storied military history, home of the largest number of military families, history of the Naval Shipyard that was once called home the LA Port, museums such as the Battleship Iowa, the Drum Barracks in Wilmington, the Fort MacArthur Museum in San Pedro. Just last night, members in the downtown San Pedro area, along with our PBID and small businesses, we came together for an official welcome party. We had over 1,000 people come and officially welcome our servicemen and women to the LA waterfront in San Pedro. And we had an amazing time, and what a way to kick off Fleet Week with our welcome party last night. So I encourage everyone listening and watching on Channel 35 to come on down to the LA waterfront for a full weekend of activities. There will a number of events, programming will take place over the next several days. There's a galley wars on Sunday, watch equipment demonstrations over the weekend, aerial demonstrations as well, and the tours are free to the public. There's also going to be an incredible fireworks show, concert series starting tonight with Cheap Trick, one of Paul Koretz's favorite bands, he tells me. And it's, you know, just watching last night to see the incredible welcome from my residents and Angelinos that have come across all city lines from across the region to welcome our military personnel. It was just incredible to see our servicemen walk downtown San Pedro, enjoying the retail stores, the bars, and I was just telling the Admiral earlier, people were just buying coffee and meals and a couple cocktails as well to our servicemen and women, and I don't think they paid for anything in San Pedro last night. So with that, I want to thank a number of folks, the Port of Los Angeles, for continuing to embrace LA Fleet Week, our mayor, this council, as well as a number of community-based organizations, volunteers, a USO, our San Pedro Chamber of Commerce, our PBID, a number of folks who've put together, Jonathan Williams with the Battleship Iowa, that continues to put amazing programming throughout this weekend. So with that, help me welcome Admiral Hansen to the podium. Admiral Hansen is one of the key people responsible for protecting our Pacific waters, covering approximately 50 million square miles of the eastern and northern Pacific Ocean, including the Bering Sea and the sector of the Arctic. We are very fortunate to have you here, sir. Help me welcome Admiral Hansen to say a few words.
Thank you, Councilman Buscano. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to all the city leaders gathered here today, and thank you to the City of Los Angeles. Our sailors, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen are excited to be back in LA, and we, on behalf of all of us, I sincerely thank you for your incredible hospitality and support. You've made us feel welcome this week, and we look forward to coming back every year. This is the fourth year, and it's getting better every year. Okay, I've been telling everybody this week that LA is a Navy town, and Councilman Buscano covered a lot of why that is, but it may not seem obvious. Our ships aren't here every day, but there's a long history of the Navy being here and that support being here. And you know, you can't top the support we get from the community here, and that's where we get a lot of our strength in the Navy we need. So thank you for that. The relationship goes back a long ways, I mentioned. We are a maritime nation, and Los Angeles is a world-class maritime city. No other city in the United States contributes to the U.S. global economy through commerce over the sea as much as LA does. And the Navy was founded to protect commerce. We've been doing that for almost 244 years, and we're still doing that. And so we have a special relationship that continues today. And as Councilman Buscano mentioned, there's veterans programs here. There's lots of other stuff going on here that carries on that support, and we appreciate that. It's incredibly important for our sailors to feel that support, and nowhere that's better understood than here in the city of Los Angeles. So for that, I thank you again, and we look forward to a great Fleet Week. Thank you.
So this year, colleagues, we began years ago with Navy Days, and now this is our fourth full year as an official Fleet Week. These Fleet Weeks occur throughout the country: Boston, New York, Seattle, San Francisco. And it gives us an opportunity to understand the United States Navy personnel, Coast Guards, and what they do day in, day out. But most importantly, it gives us an opportunity to pause and reflect, thank and bless and honor those who protect our coast and serve our country. And as I said last night, the United States flag is the greatest symbol of freedom. And these men and women protect these freedoms, as we heard earlier, with the First Amendment right, though you may or may not agree with it. It is these freedoms that make this country an amazing place to live. So we recognize our military personnel who are here. We thank you again. So with that, on behalf of the City of Los Angeles, this entire body before you, Admiral, we honor you and welcome you again. And these, it's a token of our appreciation, celebrating the 4th annual Fleet Week in Los Angeles. And here's to many, many more. And congratulations, and we love you. Thank you, sir. I cannot end without recognizing an individual representing the United States Navy who's based out of the Pentagon and represents all enlisted sailors, the MCPON Russell Smith. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you, sir, for being here. He flew in just yesterday. And now there's people who make decisions in the Pentagon to make sure this thing continues, the LA Fleet Week. And I know MCPON Smith and the exchange that we had today, I know he too is appreciative of the work that we've done here in Los Angeles to continue LA Fleet Weeks moving forward. So thank you, sir, for being here. With that, thank you, Mr. President.
Let's give him one more round of applause. Thank you so very much for your service. Okay, at this time, I do want to say, Mr. Lee, it is okay to take your seat. I mean, you have, that is your seat with your name. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to present to you for the first time, for his very first words, Councilman John Lee. Give him another round of applause.
I apologize. This is going to be a little weird for me. For 23 years, I have been standing back there, starting with Councilman Wax. Over the last 2 weeks, when talking to my staff, and as I'm telling them to do one thing or another, and we're rearranging, they have this running joke. I hope it's a joke, that they look at me or look at each other and they go, "Well, this is what we wanted," and I guess I have to say the same thing right now. I guess this is what I wanted. I walked into this room 23 years ago as a field deputy for Councilman Joel Wax, in awe and amazement of this room, but not only the room, the horseshoe and the men and women that surrounded it. I've, over the years, just been amazed at working with this body and how much each of you truly care about your community. I hope that I can live up to that the standard that I really hold this body in. This horseshoe is really incredibly special to me. So I just want to say thank you to Council President and to the fellow members for allowing me to be here today with you. So thank you very much. And of course, to my incredible family, friends, staff, and supporters, you know you're the reason why I'm standing here today. So thank you to all of you, too, as well.
Okay, members, let's now, are you ready to take your first vote, Mr. Lee? Madam Clerk, why don't you detail these few items that we're going to be voting on?
For reconsideration on items 3 and 28 for the ordinances.
Okay, let's first vote on reconsideration. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Now this vote on the items. Let's open up the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
One more time.
13 ayes.
All right, it's working now. Mr. O'Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. We previously voted on 28 and 29. Forthwith, please.
On item forthwith, 29 forthwith.
And I believe there are also requests to send 17 and 27 forthwith.
So ordered. Let's move to item 2. We have some general public comment on item 2. We'll start off again with Mr. Sachs and Mr. Smith on item 2.
Yes, thank you again. For the record, Arnold Sachs. This is a little touchy subject, depending on how you look at it. The committees that are involved, this gang reduction committee, it doesn't seem like there's any gangs being reduced. As a matter of fact, it seems like gangs are becoming more powerful, especially since you decided to pass legalized marijuana.
So, Mr. Sachs, item 2 is about a
It
temporary
refers to
street
the
closure.
gang reduction committee, doesn't it?
It's a street closure.
So my time is running, and I used 30 seconds in that short period
No,
of time?
Mr. Sachs, stay on topic.
I am on
or
topic.
Your
I'm
time
talking
will
about
be.
it's a gang
Mr. Sachs,
reduction.
we're not going to debate this. So speak to the item.
Thank you very much. Is it in the charter that you have to stay on topic like that? I mean, the Navy was just here talking
Thank
about
you, Mr.
defending.
Sachs. Mr. Smith, your time's expired. Mr. Smith, please come forward. No, Mr. Sachs, now you are disrupting the meeting. It's your last warning. Okay, Mr. Smith. Is Mr. Greenspan here? Come forward. Item 2.
Okay, item 2. It's about temporary closure of a street. Now, that's funny. Those temporary closures usually become permanent, but I don't know why we keep putting the word temporary. After all, $5,000 for maintenance for the public easement. Gee, we're getting a bargain. Usually things are at least in the 5 figures, so good going. We're finally saving some money. It's the taxpayers' money. We seem to forget that each and every time. But, oh well, just want to let you guys know, your sucky Bruins lost. That's taxpayer money that could go to
Okay,
streets.
let's give him his 1 minute for general public comment. That's your general public comment. Go ahead.
Joe Buscaino and his wife and 2 sisters are the tip of the iceberg of incompetent unionized teachers in the LAUSD. They go along with the other 34,000 union goons of the teachers union who have failed. I'm a gifted student. I didn't go to school in the LAUSD. While breaking their arms, patting themselves on their fucking back, they have failed to teach Mitch Englander to read English. Let me refer to an incident on Friday, September 21st, 2018, when Englander showed us his illiteracy. Due to those fucking incompetent teachers, we discovered a problem. The city can remedy this problem of Jew boy illiteracy by putting the city council agenda in the language of Kikeland. You racist Zionist kikes hate our South. You You racist Zionist kikes hate our South. Why do you racist Zionist kikes hate our South? Baby killers, let's end on a positive note. It's great to be alive and well in the city of angels. Monica and Nuri would have aborted me with that Jewish doctor vacuum cleaner. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Smith, you want to speak on this item, Corey? Item 2, or you, please come forward. No, just, this is item 2. You signed up for it, and then you get your general public comment. Come on. If you do, I'm going to take you off the board entirely. Mr. Smith, you signed up. You want to speak on general public comment? Then come on now.
Corey Schmidt, for the record. I signed up for everything because I was in a bit of a rush to get here. So
This is item 2 or your general public comment. Your call.
So for item number 2, let's see. So the closure of a street, I agree that they do tend to be long-term. They tend to be delayed. So I agree with the last point. Other than that, that is about all that I have to say.
Now, here's your general public comment while you're there, Mr. Smith. Give him his 1 minute.
1 minute for public comment. Okay, so affordable housing project, I am for that. I wanted to say that we don't do enough with the developers, so to actually have a full-on affordable housing project, I'm into that. Number 6 through 11, in terms of the improvements through CRA type stuff, I've been picking up a lot of trash on these streets, and I'm trying to clean the city up. So I wanted to say that I think that we should have more trash cans on the streets, because that seems to be one of the biggest reasons why there's trash all over the streets. Let's talk about crisis bridge housing 21 through 24. I want to say that I approve of that. And let's see, 8 seconds left. Not a whole lot of time. Bikeway, I just want to make these streets more accessible and less dirty.
Thank you, thank you. Ms. Ramirez, are you here? Come on up. You have item 2 and then your general public comment.
Thank you very much. We've got a Republican in the House, and Mr. Lee, we are grateful that you are going to put a temporary closure and start public safety and enforcing the rule of law by stopping and going after these goddamn Chango Latino wetbacks and gangbangers who are terrorizing American citizens, not to mention graffiti, vandalism, and break-ins and theft. And we also got to stop them fucking niggers, Skid Row niggers. They're all over the town.
So you seem to be off of the street closure item, Ms.
Okay,
Rodriguez.
why don't we
Get
give
back
you
on
your
topic.
general public comment. Give her a general public comment.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you, it's lovely to have men, real men in the House. We have the Navy and the United States Coast Guard. We need military veterans coming in at every council meeting because they exude elegance, classiness, and great balls. Not to mention professionalism and good looks, man, that helps. And having said that, God bless America and our President Donald Trump and beautiful Melania. We need to bring the Republicans into the House and stop the poverty and the homelessness and start the massive deportations. And we love you, ICE. We love you, ICE, and all the wonderful people and that have given us donations. I thank you very much at La Placita, all of you who've gone out to give us burritos, food and clothing and everything. I thank you because we are robbed every day, assaulted and attacked, and it's a daily cocktail for these criminal motherfuckers and faggots and lesbos and trannies and gays and all the other motherfuckers who rob us every night as homeless people. So thank you. And God bless.
Thank you so much. Your time's expired. Your time is expired. Okay, let's, Mr. Herman, item 2, and your general public comment. In fact, before Mr. Herman, Mr. Buscaino for an introduction.
Hold on, Mike, sorry. If I can, thank you, Mr. President. And, you know, LA Fleet Week brings international guests that come to our town, but these are very special to us. They are Santina, Dominic, and Allison Lucido. And come on. We're embarrassing them. Let's give them a round of applause. They come from Canada, Hamilton, Canada. We welcome you. And Dominic is Sandra, who is part of the CD15 family, Sandra's brother. And again, on behalf of the city of Los Angeles, we love your country. We love your town, which is, I think, home one of the largest Italian communities in all of Canada, Hamilton. And we welcome you with all our hearts. Have a great time at Fleet Week. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Herman, item 2, and then your general public comment.
Honorable motherfucker John Lee, I thank you for closure. I really thank you for temporary closure, but no, closure. We cannot contribute to motherfucker criminal activity. No, we take back fucking street again. We take fucking street again. And I say briefcase 73-5298. We are fighting niggers. We take back our streets. We don't let nigger take our streets. We don't let nigger slow traffic. We don't let nigger
Stay on the
adjacent.
subject,
I'm on the
Mr. Herman.
surrounding neighborhoods because nigger don't let me drive safely in my street from emergency vehicle. I need John Lee support to keep my street closure. I take closure. We take fucking street again.
Give him his general public comment.
So you hear what niggers have done anything right? Niggers haven't done anything right in Los Angeles. That's why I'm here. If I could take back the fucking streets, I would do it. If I could tell the mayor we'll take the fucking streets later, I will. Violations of our First, 14th, 4th, 5th Amendment because you nigga violate my civil rights. I hear in protest TMU make threat to Herman saying nigga make threat on the 0950529. No threat, nigga. You threat, nigga. You the nigga. I, American citizen, say fuck you.
All right, Mr. Spindler. You know, start Mr. Spindler's time. Start Mr. Spindler's time. Mr. Spindler, wait to speak when you get to the mic.
Honorable nigga, thank you. Now today, we close fucking street. Fucking low line, fucking street. That in cul-de-sac. Thank you to Greg Smith. Last payoff. Ha 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 ha. Now we go. No more. Low lean. Reno Day. Now John Lee. Republican Party. Shut down street from nigga. Shut down street from asshole. Shut down street from gang. Shut down street alcohol. Shut down street other people. No go 50 nigga. Come up 118 freeway from Lancaster. No more. We get rid of all you fuck piece of shit nigga. Thank you so much.
Give him his 1 minute. Madam Clerk, give him his 1 minute.
We have finally begun the revolution from China. Now we put 2 of our Asian brothers here inside your house. You treat us, our Western, like slave. 2010, you divide our home Koreatown to 4 districts, 50 nigga. And now we say to you, you say my people never go on council till 2020. Now 2 Asian Americans are here, and more Asian Americans will come on this council. And we will take over LA. We will put you in prison, and we will put one of our people in prison. Now we put Jose Huiza, but Jose Huiza fucking prison. But he bitch, you good bitch. Thank you so much, mega sucky suck Asian cock. Have good weekend, filthy nigger. Thank you so much.
Okay, your
and God bless John.
Your time's expired. Your time's expired. Mr. Sachs, you have 1 minute general public comment. Hold on 1 second, Mr. Sachs. Okay, now let's vote on item 2. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Go ahead, Mr. Sachs.
Yes, thank you. Good morning again. For the record, Arnold Sachs. And it's interesting. You know, last week, Herbie, you made a comment about those two yin-yangs not using the N-word. And this week, you let them go ahead and spew whatever hate language they want. See, free speech is free speech. But content is not necessarily free speech. That's hate language. And the city attorney says I'm off the topic when I'm talking about gang reduction. But he doesn't say anything about hate language. And yet people are being charged with hate language. So who makes the decision? He doesn't say anything when you violate the city charter, Herb. You know, when you have public hearings, you don't let people speak during public hearings? I'm sure that's in the city charter. So how do you get away with that? It's Herbie's house, Herbie's gang. How does this work? Who's in charge of the city? I thought this was, I know it's.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Sachs. Okay, now let's vote on item 4. Mr. Clerk, if you pull that up, item 4. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
All right, I'm going to go back into general public comment. Joyce Long, Edmund Levy, Brenda Lee, come forward if I called your name. Mario Marquez. Yes, sir. Identify yourself.
Edmund Levy.
Go ahead, sir.
I have a 2-minute talk here. May I have 2 minutes?
You get 1 minute, sir.
Okay,
Everybody gets a minute.
I gave you 35 copies of this to be distributed. I represent 200 residents and constituents of Councilman Paul Krikorian's district, and I'm here to ask for his resignation or impeachment. Perfect example, he's not here. All we asked for was a face-to-face meeting and dialogue, which he refused. Please write this down. Contract number, Council File 95-0736, was approved by the City of Los Angeles on May 2, 1995. That approval, that document, loaned our landlord $15,365 to build and provide affordable low-income housing for seniors. I'm at a loss to understand why the City of Los Angeles
Thank you, sir.
is failing.
Thank you. Your time has expired. Thank you, sir. If you'd exit. No, sir, you have 1 minute. You're now disrupting the meeting. Sergeants, help him find a seat. No, you have to go find a seat, sir. You have 1 minute just like everybody else. Okay, next speaker, please. No, sir, you have to you're interrupting the meeting. Sergeants, we should take him outside. Sergeants, let's remove Mr. Levy. Yes, ma'am.
Joy, and I'll just be a one-name pantheon right now. I'm here because I just left Cedars-Sinai. I'm stressed out. But I wanted to come here this morning because I'm so disappointed with my mayor and my city council. I gave Mayor Garcetti 7 days a week, 13 hours a day, and some affairs afterwards, planned events, had television and radio interviews speaking on what a wonderful mayor he was going to become and ask people to vote for him. And I have a problem now, and I can't get anybody on the phone to talk to me and solve it. And I just want to say shame on all of you because you get paid to do this, and it's wrong because I'm ill and I shouldn't have to stand here and beg you to help me. It's not financial. It's somebody coming to the phone and speaking truth to power, and you guys won't do it. And that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there anyone else here signed up to speak that has not spoken? No, Mr. Herman, put your hands down or I will have you removed. Sir in the hat, please come down and identify yourself, please. Your name, sir?
Good morning. My name is Michael Parker. I live in the 9th District. I'm proud to be in Mr. Price's area. I, excuse me, am here alone. I did not bring a sock puppet or an audience or other things, but very close to my heart as an employee of inpatient psychiatry. I work as a mental health counselor, having also served 22 years with LA Unified. I'm concerned when I see on the agenda, homelessness and poverty issues and whatnot, committees meeting, and I don't know if they have public comment at that time or not, but I think as we look around the streets, including right outside and maybe right inside here, we see that the time is long overdue for us to have the conversation with the governor to open the state psychiatric hospitals again. Please. It is a great disservice to the people living on the streets who cannot fend for themselves and are at the risk of other people taking advantage of them, that we please, homelessness is an issue, housing is an issue, but please, we must open the state psychiatric hospitals again for better service.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, that concludes general public comment. That brings us where, Madam Clerk?
Council has motions for posting and referral.
Okay, they are posted and they are referred. Announcements, members, announcements. Mr. Cedillo.
Colleagues, a few weeks ago I brought to your attention the incredible challenges that we will all be confronted with when all these covenants that were a product of the CRA come to due. I noted that maybe 10,000 units of housing are in jeopardy, and I talked about SB 5 being a vehicle to address that concern. I'm happy to note that the Los Angeles Times yesterday editorialized in favor of SB 5. That conversation was premised on a motion that we passed that day, which embodied an agreement between the City of Los Angeles and the owners of Hillside Villa. About 125 units of housing covering about 300 tenants. That has been an agreement that had come due. Well, we made a 10-year agreement with the owner. The agreement was, as I mentioned that day, no rent increases, no displacements, and that would be for 10 years. We would obviously forgive the loan that was owed, and that would be the rent subsidy that would maintain these tenants in their affordable units. I thank you for your support of that motion. We all voted on that motion, and it passed unanimously. It obviously then went to HCID and to the city attorney so they could codify the agreement and so that we could then move forward and look at the bigger picture. I want to inform you, and I hate to inform you, but I must inform you, that the owner has reneged on the agreement. The owner is now attempting to impose a 5.5% rent increase this Sunday. It's creating incredible distress for the tenants. This is the third time that he's come to an agreement with the tenants, but the first time that he's done it with the agreement that we all codified. So he's come and continues to play games with the tenants, make agreements, renege on those agreements. In this instance, though, this is an agreement that we all worked on. We based it upon their proposal. We based it upon their numbers. We spent hours working in my office with HCID. The motion was brought to you July 3rd, 2019. Mr. President, you were the co-author, and it laid out the terms of the agreement. Unfortunately, the owner, landlord, is now reneging on that agreement. I want to bring that to your attention. We, of course, find that absolutely unacceptable. At some point, a deal must be a deal. People are expected to bargain and negotiate in good faith. And if they act in bad faith, then we expect the city attorney, HCID, us to do all that we can on behalf of these tenants specifically and all tenants in the city of Los Angeles. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Cedillo. Any other announcements? Any other announcements at this time? Then if we could all rise for adjourning motions, all rise for adjourning motions. I'm looking to my right side. I do not see any adjourning motions on my right side. Mr. Blumenfield.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today I ask that we adjourn in the memory of Phil Paritsky. He passed away at 73 years young on August 22nd. Phil was a resident of Tarzana, and he was an animal lover and a founding father of the LA County Animal Care Foundation. He was also an active member of the veterans group that we've seen in this chamber many times, Wings Over Wendy. He was born on January 29, 1946. He served in the U.S. Army Reserves from 1963 to 69 in armor, chemical warfare, and military intelligence. After his service, he spent 10 years working for the LA County Sheriff's Department. Sadly, he recently suffered a stroke, and he had complications, an infection, and ultimately passed away, leaving behind his daughter, Nicole, who's 39 years old, and their son, as well as Eric, who was 40 years old. Phil was laid to rest on August 25th at Mount Sinai in the Hollywood Hills, and his last wish is for friends and family to donate in his memory to the organization that he cared so much about, the LA County Animal Care Foundation. Again, he was a founding member of the organization. He cared deeply for animals as well as humans, and we want to thank Phil for your service to this country and for being a wonderful community member. May he rest in peace and be remembered by his loved ones for his service and his dedication to helping others.
Mr. Bonnet.
Thanks, Mr. President. Colleagues, I'd like to adjourn today in memory of Brad Bolton, who was a personal trainer and a mentor in sobriety to probably hundreds of people in the Venice and Santa Monica areas. I'd known Brad for a number of years and got the very sad news the other day that at age 49, he took his own life jumping off a building in Santa Monica. He has left a devastated cadre of friends who were influenced by him. He's a guy who had a huge smile, an infectious personality, and went out of his way to help anyone he met. He was a trainer at Gold's Gym, and the staff there will tell you, even though he was not on duty, he would stay late and help clean up the gym and help the staff there, or he'd come in early and help the staff there. He would reach out to people he knew who were struggling with fitness issues, and for free would sit with them and coach them, and he had this incredible ability to motivate them. He would often just grab a sandwich and go sit down at an encampment and strike up a conversation with someone who was living on the streets and just give them a little bit of his day and of his warmth. And he had this incredible ability to do that with everybody. And his struggle with sobriety and some other issues was long and hard, and all of us who knew him wish that the peace that he brought to others was one that he could have found himself. Memorial services are still being planned. He leaves his girlfriend, Gable Carr, of Santa Monica, and a lot of devastated friends and people that he's really, really helped. May he rest in peace.
Thank you, Mr. Bonin. I'm still looking to my left. Are there any other adjourning motions to my left? And to my right, there are none. So, members, I'm going to adjourn in the memory of an individual who was a phenomenal guitarist. His name was Darrell Fields. Played with greats like the Isley Brothers and Sly and the Family Stone. For the past 2 years, I have been invited to annual fundraiser for the organization that many of us know L.A. Can. Mr. Fields was their guitarist, and hopefully next July, when they have this event, some of you can go as well. They put on one heck of a show, and they also, they entertain. The food is great, and that's where I met him. Very good man who was doing what he could to lift up the Skid Row community. And he was murdered Monday night. The tent that he was sleeping in was set afire. He was burned alive. He was found, I think, trying to walk around the streets at about 11:30 p.m. So I want us to stand and recognize that this was a man who was at the highest highs, the lowest lows, but was fighting not just to get himself back up, but those in his community. And if this tells us anything, it should reinforce with each and every one of us that we need to continue to do and even do more to get people off of the street and somewhere safe. When I talked to Pete White, who is the leader of L.A. Can, and when he told me this story, I said to him, what kind of animal would set another human being afire? And he said, an individual, an animal that needs to be separated from good people. So we need to spend a lot more time working on the actual separation, taking individuals that are trying to get it together, that are trying to do the right things, by taking them off the street and putting them somewhere. If he was at home with his door shut, Daryl would be at the L.A. Can office right now playing that guitar. And he was good. I witnessed it with my own ears and my own eyes. So I'd like for us to adjourn today in the memory of Daryl Fields. With that said, members, this meeting is adjourned.